What's up, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the Time After Time after show. I feel like there's a lot of afters in that. Anyway, we're talking about episode 4, Secrets Stolen, and we get more shirtless Jack the Ripper. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Wait for it. Okay, y'all happy now? We played that song for you. Everyone's like, are you playing that song? I'm like,
we were supposed to do it last week, it didn't work out.
Fine. I only expressed that kind of attitude because I'm like, oh, it just feels so cliche, but fine, whatever, we did it.
So if you don't hear it later,
yeah, be like, we did it. We called it. It's the last one. Last time. We're going to do more fun songs next time.
I'm sorry you hate commercials, Casket fan. Sorry.
My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. And I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. And I love she just said that because I'm her only co-host. But I feel so special.
Oh, okay. Well, you're welcome. We're talking episode 4, Secrets Stolen. And if you are watching this live, feel free to join us in the chat room. I love that you guys are talking already. And if you're watching this later, comment down below and let us know your thoughts on the episode. And just random, because I'm like, I wanted to say, Casket fan goes, I hate commercials. I don't know, me though, depending on the commercial, it's like a car accident or something. I just can't help but watch. I'm just like, what's going on? Because I don't watch live TV, so commercials to me are like, what?
I don't like commercials. I understand why they're there and everything. I do, but personally, I want to get to my show. Like, especially after the cliffhanger, you're just like, we have to wait like 2.5 more minutes just to get to like what's gonna happen next, or the preview for the next week's episode. So I'm just like, I hate you.
Yeah. Well, this episode, I love that people were talking about this on Twitter a lot. That yay for more shirtless Jack. So Josh Bowman, yes, there are many tweets that are like, maybe it's in his contract they has to be shirtless in every episode, because
nothing's wrong with that.
Seems to be nothing wrong with it. It seems to be a trend, and we all approve. And it's kind of like, okay. Someone wrote a good tweet, pretty much like, when he goes, hey, can I have my clothes back? It's like, no, you can't. And there's something funny. I was like, I like those.
I was legit in my head, I was like, I don't want you to.
No.
I mean, you just have a terry cloth around you the whole time. We're good.
He's just like, oh, okay. It's a little bit Resident Evil when she falls off the table and just has like the blanket thingy. We should just give him less fabric. So we get Brooke explaining that she kind of pretty much knows everything. So that's good. I was like those moments where they let us know what the character knows, because we know the information, but we're like, how much does a certain person know? And so they're revealing it. And she's like, I want to be a friend. I did air quotes for the people listening. I'm like, with some benefits though. I mean, like
I know she's like a little extra. Like, yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. Even if you want to kill me, yes, please. Let's do another one. Let's do round 4 or 3, whatever we're on at this point in time. Before I stabbed you with a syringe.
Well, she could just tie him up and doesn't need him to move. Just saying.
I mean, she might. I feel like she might be in a BDSM. You don't know.
I know, but I mean, in terms of worried about him killing you, you could just tie him up and he doesn't need to do anything.
That is true. I mean, he might be the type of guy who likes it. Like, once that's true. Maybe. I don't have to do no work. I just have to sit here and take it.
Pretty much.
Sign me up.
You know, and she's a good-looking lady, so I think he's. I don't know. I think he's definitely survival mode, but I think he's attracted to her. Yeah, but he's not really a relationship kind of guy, so probably not long term. Then we jump to kind of more comedic with HG doing the finger typing.
Oh so my gosh! No, the movie, and then he's like that, and then like it's like what women want. Like I think in his head, like in his head, he was just like what women want. Yeah. He's like,
sure, I want to know.
I want to know, and like maybe you can like help me figure out, you know, what Jane's thinking type thing, and like in his head. So when he pressed it, he doesn't expect the whole spam thing, and that was just actually adorable. His eyes just bulged, and you're just like, so you're so cute. It was just like, it's adorbs.
Well, because he wouldn't know that that's totally spam. Like, don't click it. No, don't. Like, we're sitting there going, no, don't. But I like the.
I wasn't thinking that. I was just like, I wanted to see what's going to happen next. Personally, I'm just like,
no, it's just the stupid spam, like multi.
I know. That's why I was like, I was actually wanting him to do it. Like, I was just like, especially because like. He's also like, you know, he's like very research observing, and so he's trying to like maybe this will teach me something. Yeah. But it popped up during like a whole 2 people were dead thing. That's what I think what caught me was funny though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it made sense, and that was a good example of a character dealing with technology and not being, super skilled at it, because he's not like, normal typing. Though they would have had typewriters, but still, I mean, he does the.
Yeah, he's...
Yeah. Which was cute. And him and Jane, that adorable, like. He wins all the points.
He does. Like,
for
no
all
offense,
the right sayings, and you're just like.
Like I said, I'm taking boyfriend applications, so if you need pointers, look at Time After Time. He gets it.
Mm-hmm. And just his little discussion with her of, she's like, oh, it's dangerous, and is this moving too fast or not? And he talks about good commentary on today of, like, sexual relations are just routine. They've lost kind of the romance, and, like, they're not as special anymore. From his point of view, which I would agree to an extent. I mean, there's definitely people that just kind of don't care about relationships and just are like whatever, compared to people who, it's a little more like get to know somebody and it's a deeper connection. Anyway,
I respect like I've been saying all my life. Like, I respect the old school ways of romance, and I respect it. Like, the story of this lady I met, she's 60. She's been with her husband for 60 years. They've been married for 50.
Aww. Or,
like, 50-ish. Like, just a very long time. And so she was going away when they first met. Like, she was basically a blind date.
Uh-huh.
And so she was going away, but he's like, I still want to, go on this date with you. And she did. And, like, the next day she left. And apparently he had a cousin that lived in the same city. So he would travel for 4 months during the dating period, going back and forth to Florida, because they lived in Ohio, to see her, and they would write letters to each other. Just write back and forth letters. I'm just like, I want that.
Romance. Yeah.
Like, they don't do that. Like, now the text is basically the most you would get off a letter.
And, like, abbreviated text. Billie Jean in the chat says, I thought HG discovered porn. That would have been hilarious. I was waiting. I'm like, oh, well, the images were still probably pretty pornographic per his definition anyways, so that's fine.
Discovered.
And then... Yeah, Casket fan, I laughed out loud. Ivan, yeah, HG and Jane are absolutely adorable. 100% agree. They're very cute.
Jared Scoggin.
Oh, Cameron goes, HG and Jane give me life. Yes, they're really, I think they have great chemistry as actors too, because it doesn't, I mean, there's a moment of it where it's a little bit cheesy. Come on, guys, we can admit it's a little corny, but it's just so cute with them that you go, it's okay.
Right, like it's the right
so
level
perfect.
of
it's just
corniness.
So yes,
where you're not like, you're just like, I'm sick of it. Like, I don't think for like their relationship specifically for Joe's, you are not gonna get sick of this.
Yeah, no, it's
just their chemistry at all.
Then they find out a little bit more about Chad. It's Chad Holland, and he's been researched, and like, okay, well, let's go to his home and check it out. Vanessa and Griffin. Oh my gosh. Every time she's talking to him, I'm like, you're saying things. Stop talking. Not in terms of like, she should stop talking. It's more like, don't say anything in front of him. She's just like, she doesn't even mean to, but you're like,
I'm just like, how do you just not... I understand, like, he's for an older guy, he's distinguished, he's nice, he's hot and everything, but I'm just like, girl, you might have been there for 2 years, but I'm in my mind, like, how really do you know him, too, at that point? No, not 2 years. I think they've only been there for a year, right?
No, I think they said 2.
Okay, so 2 years.
And just re-clarifying, because some people are talking in the chat, and great for clarifying for other people, they are not married yet, they're just dating. Because that was at the interview, like, when you tie in the knot, not yet.
We don't know. We haven't thought about it, basically. But she just needs to shut up. Like, no offense, like, Vanessa, you need to stop.
It's her business. Keep it with her business. Right? And, like, tell him later. But yeah, she's like, I'm organizing this party and
for you, for like, which is like makes a lot of sense, especially because like you're in first center, you need a lot of donations.
Yes,
and you are a war veteran, so that makes a lot of sense to have do like a whole war veteran.
She has the connects
push.
Then we got HG and Jane again. They go investigate Chad's place and learned. That's when HG learns that Chad has been following both him and Jack. So. Yes. And just if anybody re-clarify, it's easier to say Jack the Ripper. It's just say Jack instead of John. Though John's fine too. No, it's Jack or John.
I write John a lot, but then I'm like, John is Jack the Ripper, Jack, John, and I keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
So funny.
Which, speaking of comments, thank you very much for, I think it was maybe the first episode or so, a lot of you were commenting on how Jack can be a nickname for John, which I don't really get in terms of, if a name's already short, it's one syllable, There's no need to abbreviate it for another name that's completely different. Like William to Will, or William to
Billy.
Bill, or William to Billy. Got it. No problem. But John to Jack, you're like, it's already short. Why? But whatever.
No, I love Ivan right now. He said, not that I should root for the serial killer, but I wanted Stevenson to kill Griffin, which I kind of I support. I'm not
Griffin
gonna
it makes me very nervous, right? Yes, thank you. Billie Jean says, right, I kept saying, oh my God, stop talking. Vanessa, for the love of God, shut up. I know. Everything she said, you're like, you're giving him vital information. Stop.
This has been vital information from Chae Jones on Time After Time. Like, sorry, I had to go back. I had to go 90s for 2 seconds.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm thinking I'm on all that. My bad.
Yep. And Casket Fan agrees. I literally facepalm when Vanessa tells telling Griffin information. Oh, I know. You're just like, no, stop. You're like squirming in your chair. Yep.
Wait, what?
Then Cameron says, I mean, I love Will Chase, Griffin, because he was on another show, Nashville, but Griffin, I can't deal with you. I know, right? Like he seems like he's a nice guy, but I'm like, I hate you in this show.
But it's like,
I don't
you can
trust
just tell, like, even when you first were introduced to Griffin, you're just like, there's something not right. There's just something not right about you. I can't put my finger on it, but something's not right. And yes, I saw that too. That's what
I was like,
yeah.
Then we got Jack back to being with Brooke, and we learned that she's into biotechnology, which is interesting because she kind of lied a little bit, but she's still a doctor.
Just a different type
different field.
I mean, she's still doing neurological stuff, just not the one she said.
Different emphasis.
And she calls it gene therapy.
Yes, she goes into that, and they want to improve like your neurons and affect the brain, which is already just creepy. Now,
it's like mind control, right? Basically.
Well, that's where I want them to get clarification in terms of like, would it adjust how someone is? Like they put it in somebody. Like if they put Jack's killer instinct, if you will, quote unquote, into someone else's head, does that make that next individual a killer, or does it make it so that they can like control you in a different way? Like, do you get what I mean? Like either they can actively control you, or they just adjust how you are. Because those are two very different things that I could see happening.
She said, like, basically to change them.
Yeah, but then he says mind control, and I'm like, but that's different too, because like, is it an active thing where they can adjust what you're doing, or are they just changing how you are? Which we'll find out later.
Hopefully, we'll find out later.
Then we find out he has a son, which he's like, no. So then you're kind of like, well, I don't know how good, protection was back then, that I'm like, really? Never? Never.
Never.
Well, never.
Oh, when he was
all
like,
the
never.
different options of not having a child. So I'm like,
basically,
really?
I'm like, especially during that time, I don't think that condoms even existed.
There's different stuff that existed because they're like, I mean, I don't know total specifics, but I remember on like one other history thing, it's like they use kind of like you could use a thin pig skin.
Ew.
As essentially, so there's options.
Okay.
But it's just interesting that he has the absolute confidence of, no, there's no way I could have a child. And I'm like, did you kill? Because then it goes, did you kill every woman you've had sex with? Because that was my next thought. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he's killed everybody.
Legit, we should do like a tally of like how many people has he slept with / if he has killed them as well.
Yeah. And then it was, but he finds out when his son died, which later there's a date in Paris at the end of the episode, but we'll talk about that. I don't know
which
if
I was
right,
because like, I was like screaming, I'm like, that's March? Like, I'll tell you, like, March something 1918.
Well, there's a piece of paper he gets, and it was the, it was like a
registry for the service.
And, he wants a time machine, and, for the agreement is, let me study you, and I'll help you get the time machine. Not a horrible deal, but he doesn't really feel thrilled with the arrangement. He's like, no, not so much. So Chad, they find a note in his apartment back to HG and Jane, and it's a location, time, and they want to use the time machine to go back to the 80s to Glen Cove. And we're all like, okay, why? But I like their moment where like, we don't care about wardrobe. And only because I just came off the Timeless After show, they really were adamant about wardrobe in terms of like, you notice, you stand out. However, 80s to now and what HG and Jane are wearing,
it's kind of similar, actually.
It's enough. It's not too different. And even their hairstyles, they would just be maybe like, you're from out of town. Like, you dress a little different, but not like, Where did you come from?
You won't believe this. Ivan says, "What about William the Bloody?"
As in terms of like a name?
As like instead of a Jack the Ripper, like
But
William
that is
the Bloody.
pretty sure that was a king.
Seriously?
I thought that was a name. I feel that was. I'm sorry. I'm not really. I have my moments where I know my history and not. I feel that's already somebody's name.
I actually want to look
Well, there's
that up
William the
now.
Great, right?
Yeah, I thought that was William the Great.
Yeah, I don't know. Jared says, back to Brooke's experiments, I assumed that she meant it would change the personality to fix whatever makes them want to kill or whatever. True. So that's a good question. But what is her real motive there then to make him not be a killer?
And I'm actually wanting to find out about Project Utopia. Is that the drug that was like back in the 80s or so?
Is
it connected to now?
I think so. And Ivan, why get Stevenson naked? Because he looks good.
Amazingly
Always,
good.
every episode.
Sorry.
If we can, you know.
Ivan, we're girls. We appreciate eye candy just as much as guys appreciate girls in bikinis.
Right? Exactly. Then, sorry, I'm looking. Oh, HD, yeah. Billie Jean, HD and Jane really blended into the 80s. Yeah, they looked fine.
Let's talk about Bethany for like 2 seconds because she was hilarious.
Loved her. That's one of those, like, an actor has, like, a small part in an episode, but you're like, you really stood out. I like her. Like, it's a good way to get information. Go talk to the town gossip.
And she's just like, oh my gosh, Jenny's her perm. It's just, oh, hey, Jenny.
Hey, girl. Let me go talk to you.
Hi.
Yeah, that was
And,
good.
like, I love she was all up on, like, HD, like.
Oh, thank you.
What?
Thank you. I'm like, history sort of. William the Bloody was Buffy reference. Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Because yeah. Okay, now I remember. I was like, wasn't that? It's an alternative history because it's in a TV show history. Sure, sounded familiar, but then I forgot. And Buffy had his 20th anniversary recently, and I watched it like a long time ago, so I didn't remember all those references. But
I miss Buffy.
Makes it feel.
If there is a remake, please
No,
can I be Willow?
No remix. No. I mean, I understand your request, but no.
See my face. Willow. I
You're
wanna
like,
be
please.
Willow.
Back to time after time.
Go back. Let's do it.
Okay. We finally got kind of a question answered. They were able to change where the time machine goes location-wise. Because remember, we talked about this on a previous episode in terms of, like, how well can you control where the time machine goes? Because before it was just like they physically moved the time machine from London to Vanessa's home. So then it would just go from somewhere in New York to that, or like, you know, it wasn't traveling in space. It was more just traveling in time. So then this is a little more specific, which is good because then the show addresses like, okay, as long as we have the latitude, longitude, we're good. So that's good. I like
Bethany
that.
fake ass F. Yes, Amanda, we know. I think in no matter what generation, there's always going to be a fake, gossipy town person.
Oh, somebody always knows
everywhere.
the info.
And thank you, Casket fan.
Yep.
You're good.
Then we have, they get to the party and they meet the adorable 3-year-old Vanessa. Too cute.
I just wanted to take her home and just like never let her out of the house because she's just like, I'm 3. And then she like just ran up and hugged us. Like, I was like, how adorable could you like even get? Like, that's so much adorable in one little person. Mm-hmm. Like, you just wanted to wrap her up.
They found great casting. And good casting in terms of like, you could believe that's a young Vanessa too.
Like, she looked like legit like Nicole. Like, I thought like that was her.
Sometimes when they get casting, you're just like, I don't know if I believe that's a young you. Now, parent to child and siblings, I allow a lot of leeway because there's plenty of people that look nothing like their parents and look nothing like their siblings. So,
and like we found out her father is white and her mom's black, which is also interesting. Like,
looking at her, you didn't think she was biracial?
I've seen her with her parents who were just straight on black. So like, I like the fact they actually on this
is a real actress not mixed?
I can always look it up.
We should look it up.
But
I thought she was because she, because of her complexion and her eye color that I wondered. Though
she seriously, she might be. That's actually something I've never even looked up.
You're like, good question.
I'm like, I have a computer.
Oh, side note on Buffy, wanted to say, some of you guys were discussing it in the chat. If you have never watched it, just get through season 1. Because Buffy is a little bit annoying in season 1 because she's the ditzy cheerleader, but it totally makes sense because if you just took some random girl and then was like, hey, you got to kill demons, you'd be like, what? Then it gets much better and you got to stick with it because it's as the relationships and interactions build over time that it really gets the momentum.
Okay, so...
Yes. Did you look it up?
I did. I have my computer with me. Okay, for some reason it just went somewhere else. So her mother is white and her father is black.
Okay, I thought she looked biracial. She's very pretty, and
Gorgeous.
she has caramel skin. She has like,
I know.
yeah. So that was great casting on the kid, but then they get a meter, and that's also when we see. Oh, that was another bit. Griffin and Martin. I'm like, don't trust Griffin, because we cut back to the regular time period. I'm like, what? Oh yeah, because Griffin grabs the key card off the table. At first, I was like, I don't know what it is, but we
I'm
find out
like,
it's a key
as
card.
Vanessa, I'm like, how'd you forget you had a key card?
Yes.
You sit down and you didn't think to like be like, where is it?
Yeah. Then
That bugged me. I'm not gonna trip.
which side note, also really enjoyed Angel too, but
Oh, I
Buffy's
did love.
it's different.
I love the fact
They're
that
different
Angel and
shows.
Cordelia just had a little thing going on. Even though that probably is like blasphemy, but she ended up with Skype. I cannot say his name.
Okay.
Spike. But anyway,
Let's look at this. Amanda in the chat says, okay, so I have a question. HG is here in the present, so he can stay here, or does he have to go back and follow through with his destiny, or is the present already affected and good to go so he can stay? That is an extremely excellent question. Unclear, because technically if you haven't left, if he has left his past, his adult self can't meet Vanessa, because I think it was him older, she said. So, unclear. And most time
Or-
machine stuff, it's like, it depends on how they approach it.
well, it depends on how he looked because she's
Well,
in
because,
college.
you know, he could have a full life in this time period and then just travel back to that moment or something like that, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or something.
Because I feel like that is, oh my, it was such a good question because like now I'm really thinking about it. Because obviously everybody knows who HG was is now in 2017. So obviously it still happened even though
Yeah.
even though he traveled in 1893 and he hasn't wrote anything yet all his books are out
Yeah,
in 2017.
he still obviously went back.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Amanda continues on to say, because I'm wondering why they're in a relationship if he knows he has to go back. I think I chuckle because it's continuing chat about Buffy in the chat room.
I know it's like Fluffy for life, yes.
Yes. I'm like, yes. Well, the thing,
You
it's
see me get
hard
distracted.
with the time travel, so we'll see how they adjust it. I've wondered that myself too, because I'm like, well, they're really cute together, but he has to know he can't stay there permanently. Mr. I'm just here to observe is doing a lot more than observing. So
What I think might happen is, and there is probably a really early prediction, even though we haven't hit predictions yet.
Jared says he could always pop back on occasion to give his publishers manuscripts. Good point.
I mean
That's a possibility.
like he could have a life in 2017 with Jane and just always
Yeah.
travel back to like in.
Maybe we'll see.
I mean, but possible theory be
Yes.
him like maybe not this season, maybe next season. Some might happen to time machine so they can't go back this season. But for next season, he does end up eventually going back and maybe he meets like the spitting image of Jane.
Meet
'cause I
her
be- I-
great something ancestor.
Because I believe in, I seriously believe in past lives and reincarnation. So I think that could be a possibility where, because obviously he didn't have, children with his his ex-wife. So maybe whoever he marries.
Mm-hmm. I have seen that on something else where a character, time travelers or something, I'm totally blanking, so maybe it's been on more than one, and they hook up then with that person's child instead because the person they loved has died or something because it's been that much time, but they like their child, or like, oh my gosh, you're just like them, or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot what show that's too.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel I've seen that more than once. So anyway, so back to this. So we also see at the party that there's a man there who has the same bag that was in Chad's apartment. So that's wonderfully suspicious. And we learn it was his dad,
Robert Holland,
who gets killed by Vanessa's dad.
which was like, I don't know. I want to say I didn't see it coming, but like
I don't think he meant to kill him.
like his whole hand was shaking, like trying to just open. Like it was just like a shaky trying to.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to deal with it too.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, like, he didn't mean to kill him, but
But
head
now
trauma.
he can't.
Human beings are really sturdy and very fragile at exactly the same time. It's like, you got a pretty hard noggin that people can fall and hit their heads and be fine, but like blunt instrument and get hit just the right way, you're done.
that also begs the question, because when John in the waiter like knocked his head straight,
Oh.
like that was
He's probably just gonna have a concussion.
well, like I figured, but like still
Yeah.
like that
It's
was
gonna
I
hurt.
feel like that was a lot of force though.
It was, yeah. I felt bad for that guy.
I was like, dang, dude, you just doing your job. I mean, you sexy now, but dang, you just got knocked
Yeah.
out.
Oh, I like that Casket fan said blanking. I know, I feel that's a storyline that's been in more than one thing, and maybe that's why I'm like, I don't know. All right, so Jack, he goes and, oh yeah, so it says the active service record from 19, but we were looking at it, and you were saying you thought it was like 1970 though, so I don't know.
No, I said 1918, right?
Well,
or
the
17.
record I thought was a different time period than the date when his son died.
No, I thought it was like a year later.
Oh, okay,
or
so
something.
maybe it's 1920.
Oh no, I think I said 1917 because
17,
that's
okay.
when he was registered in, because that's what it said, 1917. But he died in 1918.
Got it. Okay. So then Brooke goes, wonder if his son had inherited his gene of being kind of a killer. Good question. Because plenty of people, that's the question of nature versus nurture in terms of your personality is what you're born with and then affected by your outside environment and how you respond to that. And so the question is, how much are you a product of what you're genetically given versus, what you've been outside taught? Food for thought for you guys.
We're all about deep thought here.
I know, right? We get deep on this show. So then Brooke goes, I have answers to all your questions. And we're all sitting there in the audience going, we want those answers too. No? Okay, guess we're going to wait.
What I'm curious about is somehow how did Brooke and later we found out Griffin found out anyway? Because like we understand, because apparently Chad's mom knew H.G. Wells and everything is. So how exactly did either Brooke and Griffin's father, or how did they find out to know what time they would be coming? Because somehow you had to know a time frame that they'd be coming.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting how they knew the specific time period. So it's like
legit, like he actually had, like he had a post that said 11 a.m. Chat.
Yeah, so how would Chad know when his father died specifically?
How would, like, it was like 11 a.m. like next to the picture I think of the museum.
Yeah.
So you either knew they were gonna arrive sometime at 11 a.m. Maybe not the date, but like you knew a specific time period. So I'm just like,
I don't know. Another good question. Billie Jean says, would Vanessa's dad have killed HG and Jane if he had caught up to them before they jumped in the time machine?
that might be a hell yes.
That's a very good question. Then...
Okay, Ivan, I know.
Deep thoughts.
Ivan, I know. Okay, let me say this because he repeated it twice right now.
Oh, more than twice.
We need to get the elephant in the room out of the way. Why does Vanessa being related to HG not bother HG and Jane? First of all, why would it bother them?
Why would it bother them? When there's like
Jane's not related to her.
Multiple generations, you could be nothing like the people, 100 years ago from you, like your grandparents, great somebody's could be completely, not look the same. So someone saying they're related is not really that surprising.
I mean, like my cousins are like a mix, but one of my cousins is straight up full on white with red hair, and I'm just like, dude, Alex, you have red hair. So how did that happen? Like, seriously, I asked him
genes, because it could be recessive genes and all other. That's a whole other thing.
Definitely a whole conversation, yes. But
yeah. Then Jack, when he runs and escapes, he encounters the big dude in that weird chamber.
I'm just like, dude, you getting your ass beat. Like,
ooh, he's like, who? What is that?
Like, it was awesome.
Yes.
okay. It was just really awesome.
Oh no, I liked it. I thought it was interesting that room had the blinking light. That I'm like, is that training so the guy could see in light and darkness? Because it wasn't a malfunction. It was just like the light it's like almost a torture device. So I'm like, is this training or torture?
I think it's like very experimental wise, like with people with PTSD or something like that. Like something like trying to be a trigger for something.
And then he tries to run again and gets out. And I thought Brooke should have still at least shot him in the shoulder. I don't know how good of a shot Brooke is though, so maybe that's why she didn't take the shot. Because she's like, it's a real gun. Well, you need me alive. Well, I'm not gonna shoot you then.
I mean, it's true she does need him.
Shoot him in the leg.
What you said while we were watching it, I was like, there's like a lot. You could at least did a warning shot like next to him to like make the point that you're gonna do something.
I don't know how good of a shot she is. I think TV sometimes makes it look way easier than it is. So maybe she could have
got like, I feel like as a doctor she could have shooting range once in a while,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she's that badass though. I feel like, I don't know. I really just think Brooke's such a badass that she could actually just spend her weekends somehow at a gun range.
It's fun if you guys have somewhere to go near you. LAX shooting range if you're in the Los Angeles area.
I need to go so bad.
It's heavier than you think it is.
I've heard that. I've seen a.
Like after a while, you're like.
I should not make sound so cavalier. I've seen some. I just never picked them up.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave it at that. Nobody needs to know the rest.
Oh no, I went official. I did a Groupon and went to LAX shooting range. It was super fun, and I did skeet shooting where you have the shotgun. And
oh, nice! I've always wanted to do that.
That's hard too, but I liked it. It was cool.
It's like practice, like bam, you done it. I feel like I don't know, like 'cause I love Suicide Squad. So Harley Quinn, she just like dances. She's like, it always reminds me of like a little thing of a shotgun.
No,
I love it.
Ivan said, since Jane and HG are together, Vanessa's living proof that they couldn't be together.
That's not true.
No, they could totally be together and it not affect the timeline.
I mean, him just, I don't know.
He can have multiple babies or produce multiple babies to create a different descendant line that we don't know about, so.
True, and I'm just like, if John can have sex, how come HG can't have sex at this time period?
He was married before, too. I don't think he had a kid because they don't mention a child.
They don't mention it,
Yeah, so.
I think that was like also a blessing for him because if it was a kid, that could have really like also like been a different whole set of problems too in his timeline.
Then we find out, yes, we mentioned a little bit earlier, but we find out about Project Utopia, and it's important enough that people will kill for it, or at least Vanessa's dad does. They escape, and it was interesting. And would you guys have told Vanessa or not? Because they don't tell her,
which is
what her father did.
Which is smart because Griffin is still a baddie, so he does not need to know either.
Yeah, they held back the info. I think it's one of those, like, I hope they tell her later.
Yeah, I think it's like something that needs to be told, like gradually, just not like, so you come, oh, your dad's a murderer.
Yeah.
Like,
no, just be like, hey,
like she'd be
I
like,
need
get
to
out
tell
my
you
house.
This. So I don't know. We're gonna find out because I hope they tell her eventually. And yeah, comment down below. Would you guys have told Vanessa or hold on that information?
I think Jane was smart for that decision.
Told her without Griffin there. Be like, Griffin, you stay on the other side of the room. Vanessa,
or just like Vanessa, if we tell you this, you're not allowed to leak this information to Griffin like you did already.
Yeah. Then we got Vanessa and Brooke know each other, and I was like, oh well, that's interesting because Griffin is Brooke's brother.
And I called it.
You're like, they're working together.
I was so happy
Siblings.
I called that.
Yeah. How many of you guessed that they were siblings? I know a few of you had made suggestions that you thought they were working together, but siblings, which isn't that much of a stretch, but I didn't really think about it. Go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. A few of you are like, nope, wouldn't tell her. And
well, that was explain why he called and she didn't answer because she was under John that day.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You know when he called, he's like, there's somebody else who knows about HG.
Oh, yes.
But like that's why she didn't answer. She was under John and then syringed John and then locked John up.
Yep. And then Jack gets to the party too, and
Ivan, Papa Anderson's a killer. Vanessa, you're actually related to Stevenson. Ha ha ha. Because that makes funny sense. I'm amused by that. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I'm just really amused by that statement.
I guess. Billie Jean, shady siblings. #.
I love it.
Oh, Amanda goes, I thought they were lovers. Oh, that
would have been an actually like interesting like little plot twist.
Yeah.
But, like if not siblings, I actually could like suspect the lovers.
Well, that's like the only two of like to work that deeply with someone is like you're related to them, or actually both of those work because you're related in one way or another in terms of like family, or you have made them part of your family. Like if you're just friends, I don't feel them working like that intensely on a project, but
depending on how close you are friends too.
# super shady Griffin. Yes, I know, right? Okay, now here's something. I don't know if any of you thought this. Jane's like, okay, I'm gonna go get my phone. I'm like, why don't you have your phone?
Yeah,
that was so weird.
I'm like, okay, so you traveled back, your phone was in your purse. I mean, depending on, because she didn't know she was going to leave, so that was, like, no reason that, like, she didn't know they were going to go
When do you not have your phone on you?
Okay,
when do you guys not have your phone on you? Pretty much never.
My phone's
the only time is if it's plugged in the wall.
Or stolen.
Which that's not her case.
True, it was in her purse for some damn reason.
And if she's walking around this place, why isn't her purse with her? And normally
she
the phone's in a pocket. Phone would have been in the pocket.
True, but she was in her purse for some damn. Again,
I didn't like that. I was like, nope. I was just like, that was stupid.
We know how she feels about poor choices apparently on the show, guys. We know.
No, there's been a few phone things lately where I'm like, because one movie, like, there's an issue with, I won't go into specifics because it will reveal the movie too much, but one movie, it's like their phone isn't staying plugged into the wall. I'm like, external charger. You could have that with you, so that phone is always with you. I've been to enough conventions that external chargers are your life. And so you have that and you can fit an external charger and your phone in a pocket. Get those nice slim case ones. It's fine. Or the other one is a movie where they're using their phone as a flashlight and you're like, you're going to kill the battery. And in the movie, the
Not if you do it
phone's...
on airplane mode.
You would have a longer life, but if you're doing a long time in the dark, it's called a flashlight. Bring a flashlight with you if you're going in the dark.
But again, we're 2017. We've already said this generation goes for easy. If you have a flashlight, nobody carries flashlights. Like,
Well,
you do a
guess
blackout.
what?
Nobody
The
has candles in their house.
Dies eventually. I got candles. I had the power go out in my apartment, and then it was a flashlight, and candles were good.
No, mine went out, and I was just like, I don't have it. It's getting dark, and there's no candles. I don't own any. I'm not one of those girls who actually buys candles for like whatever reason. I just don't do it.
Candles smell good.
I understand that, but there's no legit. Like, I was thinking about borrowing my roommates, but all hers were out. I was like, damn it.
All right, so we got some of your opinions. We got Casket Fan that says, I never leave the house without my phone. Billie Jean, that phone should be super glued to Jane's hand. I know, right? Amanda, I always leave my phone. All right, we got another one.
I love the hashtag.
And okay, fair enough. Jared, good point. She had her purse, didn't she? And she hit John with something. So she did hit John with her purse.
Yeah, and then
that
means
she left the phone.
She left her purse too.
Yeah, so then that's weird.
Again, that's what bugged me
Yeah.
though. When she swung it at him.
Yeah.
You lost it.
Always carry your phone. Right? I have my phone is like too often in my hand. Yeah.
No, that's what bugged me more. It wasn't the phone that bugged me. It was the fact that like you always hit somebody with something, and yet you you run, but you don't keep it with you. You might still need it.
I was waiting for a pepper spray.
I'm like a person, like, if you're coming at me, I will always have a weapon. Even my purse can be a weapon. I won't drop it until you're down.
I saw that in another movie. Like, a girl is fighting a dude. She gets him on the ground, and there's other, like, it's in kitchen, and she has pots and pans, and I'm like, hit him again.
Right.
He just tried to kill you. I'm sorry.
No,
down.
This one story gets me though. This one horror film gets me. Is like, so she's running from the killer, and like she's running down the stairs, and she trips, and so instead of going to the first floor, like she could have just got off and just been like, oh, I'm being chased. Somehow she still goes to the basement. How you missed the first floor? That what pisses me off about that movie is like, how do you miss the first floor? You should have known your destination.
Yeah.
It was to be seen by people so you don't get killed, and you still end up getting killed at the end of this scene. So I'm just like, I want to hit you for being stupid.
All right, we'll get off our horror movie soapbox.
Well, I mean, Kevin, what is the whole Kevin Williams thing? We can talk about horror a little bit. This is his baby. Like, he deals in horror. So let's go.
Yes, Casket Fan, preach, Carrie, preach. Yes, thank you.
Double tap. What does that mean?
Again, horror.
Oh, okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
Take a second.
My only thing with horror movies, I just actually talked about this the other night on Box Office Breakdown. So if you guys like news about movies and box office numbers, tune in Popcorn Talk Sundays at 10. Yes, Sundays at 10. We talk about when movies came out. And I was talking about just last night, my only thing with horror movies, I don't care if your plans go horrible, but at least you try to do the right thing and it doesn't work. Then that's fine. Maybe you brought your flashlight and then the batteries die, or it's a supernatural entity and so it makes it not work. At least you brought it. Anyways. So she runs into Jack, and he also bumps cuts the security officer, which luckily he didn't die because I was all security down. But later we see he's cut, but he's not dead. And then we learn Griffin grabbed the security card, and Jack follows him / shoves him in the room.
And actually, Griffin, I'm actually surprised he put up a good.
Griffin did a good fight. Good some hits there.
Yeah, before he got like passed out. But like, dude, like I'm real Chase. I'm really proud of you. You held your own. I'm gonna say that.
Billie Jean, is it bad that I wanted John to kill Griffin in their fight? And a couple of you were like, nope, not bad at all. I know, right?
Of course not. I know. I think we all kind of feel that way because we're just like, we just want to get rid of him.
I don't want Griffin dead. He's not. He hasn't actually done anything harmful to people, though his intentions are super shady. And his comment about the time machine, like, people would kill to have a time machine. I'm like, ooh, dude, I don't trust you at all.
Like, no,
Like,
like,
what is he gonna do? No,
it's
don't
like,
trust him.
like he, like, so okay, so this is my thing. So if Griffin, Brooke, they're siblings.
Oh,
Brooke has an underground laboratory.
yeah.
Where she's hiding a man
Yeah.
who's actually kind of sexy with him tats, but that's just me because I like tats. Anyway, I digress.
Is that the other security dude?
No, the guy
Oh.
who's locked up who beats
Yes.
John's ass. That's sexy.
Yeah.
I digress because I guess I check about sexy.
You're
anyway.
like pretty. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
so in the laboratory, and so if Brooks, the brainy medical doctor,
Yeah.
and John's running for senator, I'm trying to figure out in my head like what is his purpose in this bigger scheme of things,
Right.
that it has to do with Project Utopia, obviously.
Yep.
And we learned that, his dad was the person Richard Holland stole from to
Yep.
get the research to
Or
Anders.
this medical stuff that we don't know about.
We have yet to find out about what
yes.
its purpose was, besides like it may be an African charity. Anyway, but what is his bigger purpose in the grand scheme of things? Like, what is his role personally? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to I have not figured out yet. What is your role?
I don't know either.
In this besides you needed to get the time machine.
Well, speaking of Griffin fighting, thank you. Ivan points out. Oh yeah, he was in the army. Oh yeah, because remember it was a military fund. True, but if he's not active duty, I'm like he still has some good reflexes. But maybe he goes to the gym and does some boxing to.
I feel like
stay up to
even
date.
when you came out the army, you still try to keep your body in shape.
I would
too,
think so. That's actually in another movie. There's a character that's surprisingly very good at stuff because he was ex-military, which, if you guys have seen that horror movie, which technically it's not really horror, it's more of a thriller, but side note. We digress again. John steals the time machine, goes to 1918 Paris, and the only other note I have on this episode is the moment where Brooke walks up, Griffin's like injured, and Vanessa's tending to him, and they go, "What happened?" And I'm like, how so many layers of lies? Because Brooke and Griffin have their truth, Vanessa and Griffin have their truth,
Even though
and
Vanessa's out of that truth.
even though she's not aware of what's going on. And so it's like she doesn't want Vanessa to Griffin, she doesn't want Brooke to know about H.G. Wells, but Vanessa, it's over your head. They already know. So I was just sitting there going, oh, bummer. But anyway, that's, yes.
Bummer.
Amanda says maybe he'll be the one to distribute the drugs to his followers. Maybe, because they said it, they have the symbol, they know. But the symbol seemed to belong to Chad's father and like that group, not Griffin and his group.
Unless
We don't know yet.
it's the same group.
Yeah.
Just Griffin's different side.
And Casket Fan 100%, start getting these hashtags trending, guys. Hashtag time after time. And you can do ABTV time after time to make it more specifically this. Or tag us and then we'll retweet it too. Predictions. Let's do some predictions. There we
And
are.
now, your AfterBuzz TV
Lies.
predictions.
Hashtag lies on top of lies. Yes. Okay, so I definitely think Jack's going to Paris to go see his son.
Or maybe save his son.
Well, see him, save him, kill him, meet him, something. But that's where he's going. But obviously, nobody else knows that. Maybe Brooke would be the only person who would go, I know why he's going there. I think the drug has more nefarious purposes and or nefarious purpose and is bad. And so Brooke and Griffin want to do something that I'm like, I don't trust it. Like, I don't think this is a drug to help society. I think it's going to be a bad thing. And then, yeah. Okay, never mind. I was like, nope, that's about it.
Okay, I predict that Vanessa is going to find out about Griffin and Brooke.
Mm-hmm. How soon, though? I feel it's going to be at the end.
Oh,
She
yeah,
finds out it's going to be
I
like,
was going to say maybe the last couple
second to last
couple
episode. Be like,
episodes,
"Ugh."
she's going to
Yeah.
figure that out.
yeah.
Second prediction, like I made my earlier prediction about H.G. going back and finding a replica of Jane. Like I said, because I believe in
Okay.
past lives and things like that. Just maybe his soul recognizing her soul type thing. I think Griffin's gonna die this season.
Oh, okay. Possible.
If nothing else, he might die this season.
I want to know his intentions.
I agree with that.
Amanda says that we might meet a descendant of John. That's a good question. depending.
Well,
Depends on if that kid had kids. Because the other thing, too, of, like, a living descendant, y'all got to remember that, like, just because they had, like, you know, you can have kids, but if they don't live on to pass on, it could just be dead end pretty quickly. Because there could have been other people peppered throughout history, but if they don't survive long enough to, like, make offspring and so forth and so forth and so forth, that just stops the line pretty quickly.
Would it be interesting if, like, so let's say John really escaped, even if, like, he's been chased and he escaped and he started his own life, then, yeah, I can believe if he has descendants from that. But
That'd be a different way, yeah.
Yeah.
But that'd be different timeline. So, anyway, I think that's kind of it. Do you have any other thoughts on the episode?
You guys rock in the chat. You guys
Yes.
are awesome. We love you guys.
And if you guys are watching it later, we love you in the comments as well.
We do. We love you guys for tuning into the podcast as well. And you can, I'm on shows Thursdays. I'm on Powerless. Sometimes I fill in on Riverdale, which I love. I'm also doing a special interview with one of the new stars on American Crime this season on Thursday at 4:30 for Spotlight On. So tune in for that. You can find me next Friday for 13 Reasons Why. And I'm Chae Jones, guys. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
Nice. And my name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. Sunday's box office breakdown, where we talk about what movies came out over the weekend. This past weekend, Beauty and the Beast killed it, 170 million. Go them. Then I was like, all right, not surprised.
Yeah, but everybody's obsessed with it.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. It was like sold out, so pretty much I couldn't go see it. Time after time, just so you guys know for sure, we are at this time, which is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every week now. Thank you for adjusting with our time changing and stuff, the schedules. And then we, what do I have? Oh, yes, Magicians on Wednesdays as well as Legion. And then Thursday, The Expanse. And this Wednesday, I'll be interviewing Amber Nash, who voices Pam on Archer. So tune into that AfterBuzz Spotlight, the voice of. And yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Comment on down below. 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to AfterBuzz. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys. And we might have a special guest you don't know.
Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.